welcome to another episode of... Oh, wait a minute. We don't want that. We want that. Here we go. Welcome to another episode of the USS Sovereign, the Priority One Armada live RPG adventure Star Trek game that we play on Fridays. I am your host and game master, Tony Cox, and with me is our intrepid crew. No, our sovereign crew. Selic, Lance, James, Sarah, Panda, and Nova. Everybody wave hello. Oh, and Master Chief. Master Chief showed up. I would, if I wasn't on a roll, I would get my Optimus Prime helmet and put that on. But maybe later. Maybe in the crossover episode where the crew of the Sovereign meets the Autobots. So yes, welcome to tonight's show. We're gonna jump right in and pick up our adventure because we left on a real nail biter last time. The crew of the Sovereign was dealing with a mining repair, and some Packlids showed up, and let's just say that the diplomacy didn't go as planned. In fact, shortly after the Packlid vessel left the system, the crew of the Sovereign intercepted what appears to be a personal log from their intelligence specialist Sahir, which reads, "Not sure the exact star date, as Packlids do not appear to have a consistent timekeeping system on the ship. There are many chronometers located on the ship, but nothing based on Federation timekeeping. During our mission to explore some unusual neutrino readings, the Sovereign encountered a Packlid ship. In an effort by the captain to solidify diplomatic negotiations with a gift of extremely shiny dilithium-like helmet, I was somehow transported along with the helmet, and I am now considered a prisoner on the Packlid ship. Admittedly, I was hesitant about how the Packlids would react to an unexpected intelligence officer, or any kind of intelligence really, on board. I have been able to earn the trust of my captors by helping them make ship repairs while taking note of any tactical weaknesses that we might be able to exploit in the future. Caution is warranted in these efforts, though. If I prove too useful to the Packlids, they will consider me to be another addition to their vessel, and disabusing them of the notion will be unpleasant for everyone." So, the crew of the Sovereign is still in the mining system. Yes, is still in the mining system. They still have yet to repair the mining facilities breach so that the owner, Jolene, can transport her mining equipment, and she is in much need of restarting the facility to help pay the expenses and the debts of her late aunt. So, with two pressing matters for the crew of the Sovereign to deal with, what happens next?
Crew report.
Captain, my people have a saying for this sort of situation. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. We are many. Sahir is gone.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to let Admiral Winters know that I lost his favorite intelligence officer on her first mission away with me. So I'm going to prioritize rescuing her. Now, we need to get this sorted out here, so it might be worth dividing our forces. What do you think?
Captain, I think that's a terrible idea.
I'll give you the commander's boat again.
Yeah. Sold.
Yes. Okay, choose who you'd like on your team.
What exactly will we be doing, sir?
Assisting with repairs on the station while we go rescue our special
Intelligence
force-
officer.
Intelligence
Intelligence
officer.
officer.
Yeah, the intelligence part.
Something we are indeed lacking, sir.
Yes, so we're gonna go rescue her, and you repair here. So whoever you like.
I feel the chief engineer would be a good choice. Are there any volunteers for this mission? Wow.
See, they all love the giant ship.
What about you, Captain?
Well, I need to be on the ship. I can't exactly leave the ship.
No, so unheard of, Captain, for you to ever leave the ship.
So I'm gonna volunteer. Who should I volunteer? Hussar. I'm gonna volunteer Hussar. Hussar, go with the commander.
Hi, Captain.
And that's a pretty even split, I think. 3-3.
Yes,
can-
only 6 people run the ship, sir.
Yeah, you can take Ensign Pickle.
Is that an order?
Yes. And if they're snarky with you, remind them that I'll do something nice for them.
Are you suggesting snark may occur on the commander's boat?
Well, you are in charge. So, yes.
I resemble that remark. And Sovek just leaves the bridge.
Okay.
All right, so Hisar, Sovek, and Syar. I was trying. Look, there's a lot of S names and a lot of R's and a lot of hisses and hosses and highs and C's and sighs. So Syar, Hisar, and Sovek make their way down to the commander's boat. And are you bringing anything with you? Do you want to spend any momentum to bring any equipment?
Crew suggestions?
I think the environmental suits would continue to be a good idea at this point.
I was having a similar thought myself. Anything beyond environmental suits?
Could you use welding torches? Repair equipment?
I'm assuming because that's our mission, we'll get, that as standard. But it's probably worth checking.
If there's something specific you want to bring, then you should say that. There are some. There's cutting tools. There's plasma torches. There's lasers. There's micro-optic drill. Phaser
It's the
drill.
commander's boat. We can fit like a full sort of engineering set.
Does the Sovereign carry worker bees?
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, a couple of worker bees, a shuttle, maybe throw in an escape pod just to play it safe.
I mean, you're borderline bringing the rest of the ship with you.
Captain, how many nacelles do you think you'll need?
Oh boy.
Okay, but yeah, I think like a full sort of engineer's toolkit, maybe specifically some sort of plasma torch to do welding or what have you, environmental suits, and I can't think of anything else specific that we'll need.
You certainly you can. What is it? Let me take a look at the. Oh, Jesus, pushing buttons I didn't know I had. The Sovereign herself has you probably could do a worker bee if you wanted.
Take a worker bee.
Yeah, that would help fix the outside dome, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It can't hurt, I suppose. Any objections?
Nope.
No, Commander.
Very well.
All right. So who is piloting the worker bee?
I believe we have fallen at the first hurdle.
Oh, I imagine we wouldn't be able to dislodge Commander Sovek from the controls of the commander's boat with anything short of a quantum torpedo.
2 at least.
Hisar, what is I'm rather assuming you are the better pilot than Sayar is.
Con of 3, is that was what you were wondering about?
Yeah, okay, we're tied on that, but
Okay.
okay, that being equal, maybe having him outside to actually do the things might be where he should be.
Sounds good to me.
What about any of the NPCs like Kertrax?
Well, they're taking Pickle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Besides, Kertrax needs to be on board. I would expect Kertrax needs to be on board the Sovereign to do,
His overpowered beam
maneuvering stuff.
Well, no, we have the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Lance is here.
You could take Kertrax if you want.
I mean, he does have.
We should
three,
be able to muddle through.
He does have three arms to use.
That I do. One here, one here.
Captain, while I'm gone, please remember that logic is a thing that exists.
Yes, logic is a thing that exists, and I will use tactics instead of blind luck or unluck. So while you're
And
out there,
Captain,
look at my beard.
I know you believe you can triple poop your way out of any situation, but please be careful with the ship.
I'm not gonna hurt the ship. Isn't that right, Kertrax?
I just love you're going into a potentially hostile situation and you're leaving your tactical officer behind to help with repairs.
I'm more concerned about the Packlids coming back and blasting the thing apart. So I feel like leaving a tactical officer there might be the smarter thing to do.
You're going to leave the tactical officer with a glorified forklift.
Shuttlecraft.
You take that back.
I was talking about the worker bee, Commander.
Oh, carry on.
Logic status still existing. Yes, has anyone seen my beard? I don't know where it's gone. I feel I feel very
Did somebody
uncommandery.
actually notice that?
Captain, we can synthesize some bioadhesive and then you can rub your face on D'Artagnan.
Kertrax does have an engineering level of 4 for discipline.
No, right.
You can swing a tribble for engineers on this. We'll be fine.
All right, so
It's going to be hard, though. There's not like a...
So the away team.
You're just like pelting.
So the away team is Sovek, Hisar, Sayar, Pickle.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
Take Rick too. Well, get Pickle. Pickle and Rick are a tag team. You can't separate those two.
I feel they're two together.
Look, they don't want to be apart. Okay, just take the two. Okay, gosh.
This is getting awfully crowded in the commander's boat.
All right.
One of them can hang on to the worker bee.
You're
I
taking.
thought Pertrex was coming.
To be fair, I was expecting, myself to be sitting on top of the worker bee as we, tootle on over to the dome.
All right. So
I
who's-
assume someone would be inside it.
Well,
So who's in the worker bee?
Well, does that thing have to be flown, or can it go in the commander's boat?
It cannot fit in the commander's boat.
No,
Okay.
it needs to be flown over there.
Okay, I guess I'll fly it over. I mean, somebody else is going to have to fly the commander's boat.
I think
I wonder
Sovereign is
who.
planning that.
I mean, I will let you know that to get, just to take that stuff over to the thing is not going to require much piloting. Like, it's these.
Sovek's got his
not-
how hard can it be face on for this.
All right, so the um. So you guys head down to your respective ships. The captain's yacht pops out of the ship. Sorry, the commander's boat
Better.
pops out of the ship.
like I said, I've got the spray paint and stencils ready to go. Just get me the word.
And so everyone's on board except for Hisar, who is on the worker bee, which I don't necessarily have a token for, but we'll just assume you're right next to the ship. And does the Sovereign want to do anything else before heading to?
I'm going to send one last transmission to those on the commander's boat. All hands, this is the captain. I know you guys are the best crew out there, although we can be a little bit ridiculous sometimes. I know you guys always get the job done. Just be careful, keep yourselves safe. Most importantly, protect your teammates. And I'll see you guys when we get back.
James, can you make a command presence roll with 2 dice and tell me what you get?
I got an 8 and I got a 16. Okay, so what's my command present?
2 complications. You stress everyone out.
So I have 13. So I have 1 success.
1 success? Okay. Thank you. All right. Oh, hey, Jason. How's it going, man? Nice to have you here.
I'll be back for breakfast.
All right. So, the away team leaves the ship in their worker bee stuff, and then what is the Sovereign going to do?
Maximum warp, follow the Packlids.
How are you following the Packlids?
Scan for their ion trail.
Okie dokie. So, who do you want to make that scan?
I'll get my science officer to do it. Science officer, do a scan. She's just coming. There she is.
All right. So the captain has ordered the science officer to scan to follow, to scan some kind of a signal to follow the Pakled ship. So that will be a. Let's see. That'll be a reason science with a difficulty of 1.
Okay. 17. And 6. So my reason science is 17, so
Is that 2 successes?
I think so.
2
2
successes.
successes.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So the science officer sits down at her console, does a quick scan, looking for a warp trail, and sure enough, finds it. You have 1 floating momentum if you want to do anything with it.
Could we use that momentum to track a more precise trajectory of the ship?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You want to do that, Sarah?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Okay. Yeah. So you narrow the sensors down using a technique you developed, and not only do you have the warp trail, but you have what appears to be the exact trajectory of the Pakled ship, which is heading a little bit further into the Shackleton Expanse.
Helm set a course, maximum warp.
Aye, aye, Captain.
All right. The Sovereign leaves the system and jumps to warp. So this will be a new scene. You guys will lose 1 momentum for the new scene. You're on your way. Is there anything that you want to do while you're on pursuit on an intercept course?
Sounds like is there anything we can do to strengthen our shields?
Don't know really.
Hmm.
You could always tech.
Trailer?
You could always tech the tech.
Trailer,
Yes, sir.
I might need you to do some swanky flying when we get close by.
That won't be a problem.
I want to boost the shields, because what I want to try and do is fly as close as we can to the ship, to the Pakled ship, and try one of your upside down maneuvers again and re-beam our missing officer back on the ship. But we need to try and do that without the Pakleds realizing with their cloaking technology. So we're going to have to run sort of blind. We're going to shut down all power and literally drift. You're going to have to do a bit of Tokyo drifting with the Sovereign.
I can do that.
Sounds good.
I suggest we all should shut down all power to all non-essential systems as well.
Okay, we'll have to let the ensigns know that unfortunately karaoke night is off, unfortunately. But that is fine. Could I set my science officer to do some shield upgrades on our travels?
Sure. If the science officer would explain to me what she plans to do.
So what sort of shield upgrades do you want?
Something that would allow us to, well, strengthen the shields without using as much power.
Make the shields go good.
Make them go.
Oh lord, we have an infiltrator.
I mean, what sort of, strain do you expect them to be under?
Well, we're going to be drifting on low power. So essentially what I need the shields to be able to do is to be able to go up as soon as we get fired upon. So I need that delay of the shields to go down. Because as soon as we beam our officer off, they're going to open fire with everything they've got. Is there anything you can do to speed that up?
I mean, might be possible to sort of rig the shields that they sort of come up on half of the ship quicker than the other half.
I mean, that would be... Actually, that's an excellent idea. Is there any way that you can prioritize the top half of the ship as we're going to be doing our upside-down maneuvering? Even if we put all the power to the top section of the ship.
We could try that.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
All right, so that is going to be an engineering reason with a let's see, with difficulty of 2.
Can I assist at all?
Yeah, absolutely. And the ship, somebody can roll for the ship. You could do a security. A security shield roll, which shields is not a system, but using the number of shields the ship has, which is 13, I think,
Okay.
plus the security. So Lance, why don't you roll for the ship? And Captain, how are you assisting?
I'd like to inspire my my science officer to get the job done.
Okay.
Knowing I trust her in her abilities, but she wants to impress me. So
Okay.
I'm using the focus inspiration.
Inspiration. Okay, so let's hear your inspirational speech to your science officer who you've ordered to do an engineering task.
Now, I know this is going to be stressful and difficult, but just even if it seems impossible, just find some way to do what I know you can do best. Use that big brain of yours, that PhD in everything from science to I guess more science. I'm not really very good at science anyway. But what I'll say is, I know you can do it. You're one of my highest level officers, and I trust you. Get it done.
All right. So currently the science officer is rolling 2 dice. The captain is rolling 1 die using a command presence roll. And then, Lance, you're going to roll 1 die for the ship. So that's a total of 4 dice. You have the option of purchasing 1 more.
Can I use one of my talents?
What talent would that be?
Testing theory.
Sure. What's the talent do?
It says, when I attempt a task using engineering or science, I can roll an additional d20 as long as I've succeeded at a previous task covering the same scientific or technology field earlier.
I don't know as the scan would count as that prerequisite, but
Yeah.
I will allow the use of the talent anyway.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. So that'll give you another one. All right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For the ship, can the ship use its talents? It has talents listed on its sheet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what about improved power systems for this one?
I wonder what it does.
The ship's power systems are extremely efficient, allowing power to be redirected and rerouted from different systems very quickly. Whenever a character succeeds at a power management task, the ship gains 2 power per momentum spent.
Yeah, that's more useful in battle, in combat. At this point, it wouldn't be applicable in this situation.
The ship rolled a 6
All right.
for a success.
So it's 1 success.
Command presence, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, so I got an 11, so that's a success.
Okay, so my 3. So 18, which isn't a success. 17, which isn't a success. And a 6, which is a success.
Oh,
All right. And what's your science value? Sorry, what's your engineering value?
My engineering and reason is 15.
No, just the engineering number.
Oh, 3.
3. Okay. All right. So that's 3 successes, which is great because it was difficulty of 2. So yeah, you quickly get to work. You sort of have this theory of having the shields sort of when they're raised, the ventral shields go up first, diverting all the power to there, and then moments later the shield power distributes to the rest of the ship so that it evens out. And you sort of set up that program, that protocol. You have 1 floating momentum. Is there anything that you would like to do with it?
Anything extra you need me to do?
I think that'll do nicely. I think we can back that.
Okay.
All right, so that gets banked. All right, so you guys are en route to intercepting the Packled ship. Meanwhile, back at the
ranch.
Back at the cluster.
I don't think it's quite that bad.
I say that because it's called the Alnath cluster. The rest of the away team and crew are approaching the dome. And what would you guys like to do?
Well, we already know pretty much what we're dealing with, so there's probably not much point doing a scan because 2 of us have already been down there. So I suggest we just pilot the 2 ships into the vicinity and probably disembark and get to work. First off, probably pulling that loader out of the door, wasn't it? The airlock.
Yeah, it's jammed in the side, in the track that the door goes down.
The one thought we should bear in mind is we should make sure that the room that had all the survivors in is either fully secure or has already been decompressed, since that force field would presumably be failing soon if it hasn't already. I want to make sure we don't get caught in a nasty accident of ourselves.
It was turned off, and it is
Okay.
The entire facility is now decompressed.
Nice.
So you guys are going over to the facility, into the facility in your.
Maybe the worker bee should use its arms or its tractor beam to see if it can push the loader from the outside.
Before we do that, agreed. Let's try that. First, let's have Sayar go in, and since no one's in there except people with mag boots, if Sayar goes in and turns off the artificial gravity is the source of friction that is holding it in place. Once the gravity is off, if nothing else, it will be easier to lift and wiggle out, if not just float out entirely.
That's a good thought, Chief.
All right, so Sayar is going into the facility. Is that correct?
Correct.
Anybody else going with him? I'll take that as a no.
Sweet. It was nice knowing y'all.
Lieutenant Hassar, perhaps you should join them, and I will stay on the commander's boat.
Well, Hassar is in the worker
Overseeing.
bee.
Hassar,
Yeah.
Don't forget
Oh.
about Pickle and Rick.
would you like a pickle to join you?
Out of character, is Pickle the one who knows how to use weaponry?
I'd hope they both could, but
Let's take a look.
let me open up the character sheet. Yes. Yes, a pretty high security.
All right. Yep. Yes, I'd appreciate if Pickle accompanies, just to make sure whatever is inevitably waiting and hiding in there has a harder go of it.
Sir,
Yes.
yes, sir.
Sorry.
If
So
nothing-
who's
if nothing else, they can hold on to something.
who's going where?
Oh, I need to find a place
Pickle.
where I can deactivate the artificial gravity. I guess Pickle's just keeping an eye out for anything that moves that's not wearing a Starfleet EV suit.
Let me grab something to.
So yeah, Pico and Sayar are entering the facility
All right, Pico and Sayar are entering the facility.
in environmental suits.
Oh, I forgot to make a Pico token. Bummer.
Pickle.
Little lame-o. All right, so they're in there in environmental suits. Yeah, you could probably accomplish turning off the gravity from any station. It will be a engineering control with a difficulty of 0, but I'm going to make you roll for it. Because I like your dice.
There's complications.
I like the way your dice roll. So
Well, that's a 1 and a 16.
oh wow. Okay, what's your
So
what's your engineering control?
15.
Okay, so 2 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, hey, that's 2 momentum right there. You're welcome. So Sayar goes over to the nearby console. Inputs very easily, turns off the artificial gravity. Do you want to do anything with that momentum?
Deploy party lights.
Add a third chew. No. Let's store that for the next task.
All right, so we'll bank that. That's not a terrible idea.
I mean, we also might need to make something incredibly shiny again.
That's very true.
All right, so what do you want to do next? So the gravity goes
Chief,
off.
do you think
The loader ever so slightly just kind of lightens. You know what I mean? It's still stuck, but it just kind of lightens.
Chief, do you think you could manually move the loader, or would you need assistance?
Pickle and I will try to manually move it first.
Hey, Sayar, have you ever seen that old human movie? I think it was called Alien.
I'm not particularly sure where you're going with this.
No, just empty station. You know, scary alien. No, never mind.
Ensign Pickle, your speaking privileges have been revoked.
Oh man, and it's private.
All right, so
Ensign, I assure you, the scariest alien here, you already know where he is.
Sorry,
Let's go handle
sir.
this loader.
All right, so Pikal and Sayar are going to physically move. Are going to attempt to physically move the loader. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So that's going to be that'll be so it's going to be a task for Sayar, with Pikal assisting. So James, you'll roll for Pikal if you could bring up that character sheet.
Pickle does have the focus of perfect physique, which could come in handy here.
So it is going to be an engineering fitness check with a difficulty of 3.
Is that for Pickle or?
It's for both of you.
Okay.
So, and so right now you're rolling 3 dice. Do you want to modify those odds at all? You want to improve them at all?
So engineering fitness, you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 13 for me. What's that for you?
Engineering fitness is also 13.
So it's a difficulty of 3. And the
You wanna buy
physique,
another
the physique focus would apply.
Actually, what is Pickle's engineering?
2.
If we use a momentum, you can use my engineering of 5.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Unfortunately, I don't really have any focuses that are relevant to this.
So you're spending a momentum to use that. What is that, a talent or something?
That is the collaboration engineering talent.
Okay, great. All right, so there's a momentum spent for that. So that boosts Pickle's engineering. Anything else to improve the odds?
Do you want to use some momentum to buy 1 extra die?
We could do.
I mean,
I
if
could
you
try and give
fail,
a rousing speech.
if you fail, you're going to get it back, right, Panda?
That is true.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. Yeah. All right, let's hit another momentum.
All right. So that's 3 dice for Panda and 1 die for James.
Okay.
Tony is far too happy. We should all be concerned.
I'm just
We're always concerned.
I'm having a good time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The thought of
Pickle.
the thought of 2 Starfleet engineers in EV suits trying to push a forklift out of a door while your security officer and a worker bee outside watches is just gold.
Pickle.
All right, did you guys roll?
Not yet.
Pickle.
All right.
All right, that is a 4, a 15, and a 7. So that is 2 successes from Sayar.
Pickle rolled 9.
That's a success, right?
Yeah.
All right. And
Pickle, use strength to push.
Do you have a focus, Panda, that's...
Not really. No.
all right.
I have perfect physique.
I mean, that's enough. You got it. You just got it.
Whittling pectorals.
So, so the two of you walk over. You sort of brace yourselves against the frame of the door, and you push and you push, and Peekle with his perfect physique, really juices the out of the way, and you're able to push the loader out from the door frame, and it slowly starts to glide across the room towards some crates of dilithium.
Now, does the worker bee have a tractor beam on it?
It does not. It
It
does have
does not.
physical arms.
Physical arms. Is it close enough that I could grab it so it doesn't crash into the crates?
You would have to. You could try. You'd have to sort of enter. You'd have to go into the facility a little bit to reach it, because
Do you need me to phaser open the door for you?
Okay.
No, the door's open. The door's stuck open.
Yeah.
I mean,
the
she
door's
can.
stuck open.
I mean, she's gonna have to fly into the thing, so there's gonna be a bit of maneuvering, but it's
Okay.
It's. Do you want to?
Alright.
Is that what you want to do?
And just fly
Alright.
in, yoink it, and just toss
Nope.
it out.
Nope. James. Nope. This is what's happening.
Wait.
There's no oxygen, Captain. There's nothing we can do to set things on fire.
No, the captain's not there. It's Peekle.
Pickle could fire and disintegrate it because he good at firing things.
All right. So this is gonna be.
I think we asked this last time, and you can't disintegrate it.
Disintegrate what?
The
forklift.
loader.
I mean, you'd have to use the phasers from the ship, from the Sovereign. You wouldn't. You don't have anything strong enough.
I am personally have philosophical objections against standing in the room with the target of a ship phaser.
This target of a ship phaser. All right. So
I still remember that birthday party.
So Nova, this is going to be two checks. First, one to pilot into the into the facility, and then one to try to grab it.
Okay.
It's all happening simultaneously, but it'll be two separate tasks. So the first one is going to be a con daring
Okay.
with a difficulty of 2.
All right. That is a 12. Conjuring. How much momentum do we have?
You have 3 momentum.
Can I give a rousing speech to assist, like over the comms?
No, this is happening too quickly.
I will buy 1 die.
Okay.
Lieutenant, I've checked the Piloting for Dummies handbook I brought with me.
Would observation focus be handy in either of these roles?
Yeah. Like you're observing what they're doing, and you notice as soon as it starts to float away, and this isn't like an emergency situation, but like something needs to be done like right away, right? So and you notice that you
It's a potential hazard waiting to
yeah,
happen.
you're like oh, and you just go in to save it. So yeah, I'll say that focus applies.
Okay, so con daring, buying 1 extra die.
Yep.
With observation focus. And oh, this is not good.
Oh no.
That's 2 13s and a 4. Ouch.
So what's your con?
12.
What's your con number?
Con is 3.
Oh, and you rolled a
Carrying
4.
is 9. It's a 12. Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
you got one success.
One success.
Okay.
Oh, I bumped the ship.
Which of our officers have you just slammed into?
Well, hang on. So that's only half of it. Now let's do before the results are known. Let's now you're simultaneously trying to reach out with the arms to grab the dilithium. So that's going to be we'll call that an engineering control with a difficulty of 2.
Okay, that is also a 12, and I can still use the focus observation, right?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay. All right.
Doesn't Panda's trait give a momentum?
Well,
to the
we're
hit?
not done. We got to finish because it's 2 things
Oh, okay.
happening simultaneously. So
Yeah, he's make me.
I want to see what the whole thing.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to buy another die.
Okay. So you should be
How
down
much
to 1,
momentum
right?
we got?
You should be down to 1. Because you were at 3, you bought 1, and now you're buying another one.
Yeah, but since this is a separate roll, that would still be only 1 momentum.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's hold on to a momentum for the micro mega quantum torpedo that I'm getting ready.
To launch right at everything when you've got 3 of your crew members in the way. Thank you, Commander. All right, that's
It's good
bad.
to have options.
I have 10 and a 6 and a 14. That's 2 successes.
So that's 2 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you see the loader start to move away relatively slowly. You see that it's heading for a crate of dilithium, which, I mean, it's not an emergency situation. There's a good chance it's probably not going to cause that much damage, but still you want to jump into action and try to make sure that doesn't happen. So you thrust her in to the room, and you reach out to grab the dilithium, to grab the loader, and you're successful at grabbing the loader. However, you don't quite keep the worker bee steady, and you end up bumping into Syar and throwing him up against the bulkhead and knocking him out.
Oh no.
Boo.
Pickle! Pickle the bots! Pickle the bots!
That's gonna leave a mark.
Okay.
On Sayar or on the wall?
We'll find out, I guess.
Pickle would like to jump up to boss.
As Commander Sovek witnesses this, Commander Sovek is going to beam Syar back to the commander's boat.
Okay. So he.
But you're leaving Pickle down there.
Pickle's fine.
Pickle!
And say, Commander, did you remember that he was in 0G and is therefore now not standing on the floor, but could be anywhere between 1 to 4 feet above it?
Pickle!
All right, so Syar is beamed back aboard the boat, commander's boat, which we'll put parked right out here.
And I'll run a medical scan.
All right, so that is going to be a medicine reason with a difficulty of 1.
Sayara will assist by not doing anything that could interfere with the scan.
Well, no, you're unconscious.
Exactly.
Difficulty of 1, you say?
Yeah.
You couldn't have a more compliant patient, is what I'm saying.
Medicine reason, you say?
That's what I say.
Okay, 2 successes.
2 successes. Perfect. All right. So you run a scan, and you determine that he's fine. He's just unconscious, and he just needs a stimulant to bring him back.
Okay, I will
Two
administer the
adventures where
stimulant.
I have ended up unconscious.
So that'll be a medicine control with a difficulty of 0, but I'm going to make you roll for it.
Okay.
Get a 20, get a 20, get a 20, get a 20.
So
2
you want
successes.
2 successes. All right.
You
So you inject him with a stimulant. He groggily wakes up and says,
I take it something happened while I was out, Commander.
Beagle the boss.
you
Go
are-
ahead.
Boss, are you okay?
Yes, Pickle, I'm doing just fine. You don't have to worry.
Okay. Bye, boss.
Also,
God,
you
that's
generated 3 additional momentum during that, so you jumped up to 4, which is good. Congratulations.
Sovek's getting it done.
Sovek single-handedly is accomplishing this mission, he says. All right, so
Okay, so the loader's under control.
the loader and the worker bee are inside the facility and under control.
Sayara's pulling out some industrial adhesive to put this tooth back in.
Pickle is in the facility along with the worker bee and the loader, and Sovek and Sayar are aboard the commander's boat. And with that, let's take a 5-minute break, and we will come back and rejoin our crew. And I have a countdown for everybody, so you know when we'll be back. So if we're not, it is the auto destruct sequence. So if we're not back before it gets to 0, then boom. So we'll be back in 5 minutes, and we'll see you then. Just hang out.
Auto destruct sequence armed.
All right, we are back. Thank you for bearing with us. Hopefully the why is that still doing that? Sorry, my son keeps sending me Facebook messages over and over again.
Oh.
And it's really annoying. And I'm not sure how to. I guess I could try that. Maybe that'll work. All right. Okay.
I think we might have a couple of people who haven't watched before.
Oh, really?
Tony, as a fellow
Hyper
parent, I
Hydra-
think I'd finish. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Who haven't watched the Star Trek Adventures before. Hyper Hydra's been watching, and I see Booter. They were both asking questions about how stuff was done while we were on break. That I was answering.
Yeah, so a short explanation of how it works is basically when a task is happening, so a character needs to perform a task, then I tell them they have attributes and then they have disciplines. So attributes are control, daring, fitness, insight, presence, and reason. And the disciplines are command, con, security, engineering, science, medicine. So basically like the departments and whatnot. And so the character stats are spread throughout those depending on their character creation and their upbringing and their time at Starfleet Academy and their experience as officers. And so I give them a discipline attribute that they have to roll against, and a difficulty number, which the difficulty is how many successes they need to accomplish the task. And a success, they roll the default roll is 2 d20s, and a success is when they roll equal to or less than their attribute number added to their discipline number. So for instance, let's say that a character is firing a phaser, and that would be a security control task. So let's say their security...
It could be security daring, though, right?
Yeah, but just as an example. So it's like how well they control the phaser and their knowledge of security. So let's say that their security value is a 4 and their control value is a 9. So that's a total of 13. So for every d20 that they roll equal to or less than 13, that would count as a success. A 1 is a critical success, granting 2 successes. So if the person were to roll a 1 and a 12, both those numbers are under their target value of 13, and the 1 gives an extra success, so that would be a total of 3 successes. If it was a difficulty of 2, then that means that 2 of those successes accomplishes the task, and then that additional success can be turned into what's called momentum, and that can be spent on various things by the player to basically improve the situation, or they can bank it to use it later on, including purchasing dice and other things like that. So hopefully that was a pretty good explanation. There's a lot more to it, but and if a character rolls a 20, that's considered a critical failure, or which creates a complication. And so I, as the game master, would then decide what the complication is. So, for instance, we did kind of a modified version of that when Nova's character piloted the worker bee into the facility and tried to grab the loader. I split it up into 2 separate tasks, even though it was all happening at once. She failed at 1. She got 1 out of 2 successes, and then she got 2 successes on the other one. So I allowed her to succeed at the task she was doing at a cost. And the cost is that she knocked Panda's character out and threw him against the wall. So it creates a minor situation that they have to then deal with, but But yeah. So anyway, that's the game mechanics in a nutshell. And then there's a lot more rules to it than that for different situations. And I don't even know all of them. I'm still learning as we go. But yeah. So all right. So everybody back at the mining colony is somewhat taken care of. Let's cut back to the Sovereign in hot pursuit of the Packled ship, and you are fast approaching. You are fast approaching the. Why did that not update? You should have 4 momentum. There we go. All right. So you're fast approaching the Packled ship. Is there anything you would like to do before you actually intercept it?
Trailer, is there any way to begin our barrel roll maneuver before we drop out of warp?
Not at warp speed, sir.
Okay. Could you input the barrel roll maneuver in, so as soon as we drop out of warp, we instantly enter the barrel roll?
We can do that.
Okay.
So what I would like to do is pre-program the barrel. So question, Captain, are you wanting us to be put in a position to take out their shields or weapons or engines? What would you like?
We need to take out their shields and then beam. We're going to as soon as their shields are down, we're going to beam our operative off and then put our shields up. Luckily, we already programmed that into the system. We just need to make sure that you can keep us upside down long enough to get beamed out. We already know where their shield weaknesses is. We've taken out their shields before. We just need, and I don't think they would have fully repaired their shields already.
And then who's going to perform the actual firing?
I'm going to get Kertrax to do that.
All right, so what I would like to do is pre-program the maneuver of dropping out of warp near the Packled ship, and we're going to be using thrusters to loop around to the shield generators on the Packled ship.
Sure.
Sounds good to me.
That will be a con reason with a difficulty of 1.
Can I assist in this, Tony?
You can, but you can't assist by giving a speech.
Can I use team dynamics?
What does that do?
Team dynamics. That's just my focus.
Oh, just a focus? I mean, yes, but you got to tell me how you're assisting.
Okay, I'm gonna assist by plotting a course. No, not helping plotting a course. By going over my plan with Trailar in more detail, and going over the tactics against the Packleds, and going over what we already know about the Packled ship's weaknesses.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and go over that plan with him.
Okay, Trailar. So we already know the Packled ship is very weak in that one central spot. We were able to target it before. Very much reminds me of a scene from Star Wars. But what we need to do is we need to make sure that when we come in, we get that trajectory right. As soon as we drop out of warp, we're going to go upside down, and we're going to go.
I should get
on
2
low
threat just for you mentioning Star Wars. Like,
well, it's a movie in the Star Trek universe. It's just a
oh,
movie.
is it? Is it now?
Oh, quite
Is that
the assumption.
canon? Is that canon? What do you think? Everybody, hang on. Everybody watching, I want you guys to chime in. Do you think that the Star Wars movies exist in the Star Trek universe, and what canon evidence do you have to prove it?
Star Wars in Stowe canon confirmed. There you
All right.
go.
So Hyper Hydra, explain to me how that is possible. All right, keep going, Captain James.
Okay. Well, Captain Shepard is going to.
Is it?
Just
Aren't
double-
you Captain James Shepard?
Yeah, Captain James Shepard.
Okay.
But he likes to be called Shepard.
Oh,
so,
sorry.
Yeah. Okay,
Does
trailer. So
anybody know what freaking franchise we are at this point?
No, Star Wars was lost in World War III. Oh, okay. Thanks, Alec. Okay, so we need as soon as we drop
Don't
out
worry,
of warp.
no seasons of Andromeda were destroyed, so that's still around if you want to use that.
Okay.
Also, I'm copywriting this maneuver that you're stealing.
So we are going to, as soon as we drop out of warp, we are going to turn up directly upside down and go run on low power mode. We don't want them to detect us. We know that they can cloak at any time, so we want to make sure that they just think we're an asteroid coming slowly towards them. Packlids, they like asteroids, So we just got to play into the Packlid idea of that's nothing for me to worry about. As long as we can get close enough to them before they think we're a threat, we can fire as much as we want at that shield port, beam our man out of there, and get our shields up as soon as they try and fire back at us. And hopefully this is just going to be a run, grab, and fly back situation.
We should spend all of our momentum polishing the ship and making it look like a giant dilithium crystal.
A big giant asteroid that is warping in from out of nowhere.
No.
If it's made of dilithium, then obviously that's how it works, because you use dilithium to make it go. So of course it's dilithium.
This is excited dilithium as opposed to the nervous dilithium that we had last time.
Traylord, just make sure when we drop out of warp that we're just outside their scanner range. So it literally looks like we're just drifted into their scanner range.
Okay.
That shouldn't be a problem. May I also suggest, Captain, that we use the hollow projectors to project a giant dilithium helmet in space, the size of the ship, and they will think they have angered the dilithium helmet.
You know what? I think we should do that. But maybe not the giant dilithium helmet. But what we should do is use a hollow projector to create an asteroid.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That I think.
Okay. What do you suggest, Science Officer?
Just keep it simple.
Well, where were you last week? Stick. It worked last week.
It worked so well
It worked.
that you're now on a rescue mission.
Yeah.
Captain, I will take the advice you have given me and factor that into the routine I am programming into the helm.
All right.
Okay.
So let's see how well you program this thing in. So Lance, it's going to be a. Did I tell you what it was going to be? Yeah, I told you it's going to be a con reason. James, you're going to roll a. So you're going over the plan. It's going to be a command insight for you.
Okay.
Can't I argue that this is con daring?
But you're preparing it.
Okay.
You're not actually executing it yet.
What's
So-
the difficulty?
It's a difficulty of 1, and I will say that a success, if you successfully do this, then that will decrease the difficulty of the actual maneuver by 1.
Okay. Do you want to get an extra die?
It's only a difficulty of 1, and you're already rolling 3 dice. And you can even, if you want to, you can have the ship's con computers assist as well. So Sarah, why don't you roll for the ship con computers, which is a total of 13.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we roll.
I rolled a 3 and a 16, so I've got 1 success.
All right.
I rolled a 12, and it was command insight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's fine. 16 is my command insight, so that's a success.
Success.
I got a 14.
A 14, which is not a success. Okay.
When do I use focus again?
Focus is if you roll under your discipline, it counts as 2 successes.
Okay, my discipline is con, and I have a focus of flight control systems.
And what did you? Was one of your dice?
It was a 3.
Okay, so that's an extra success. So that's 3 successes on a difficulty of 1. So that's pretty good. So yeah, you hear what the captain wants to do. You clearly understand the plan as far as the maneuver goes. You then sit down and you punch in the protocol, and you've generated 2 additional momentum. What do you want to do? You want to bank that, or do you want to do anything with it?
Could we go with the asteroid projector idea? Yeah.
Well, tell me what you want to do with this momentum, and then you can decide if you want to do that.
I say we bank it.
I say we bank it too.
All right. So you're at the max of 6 momentum. All right. So last thing before you catch up with the Packlet ship, do you want to implement this hollow asteroid plan?
I feel like the Packlids are that way inclined. What do you think, Trailer? Should we go for the giant dilithium crystal, or should we just go for an asteroid?
Asteroid, definitely. Because, they have the helmet. They might actually put 2 and 2 together that it's not the same helmet.
Sarah, the look on your face is amazing.
When you say that way inclined, are you suggesting that, like, friends of theatre, that Packlids are friends of dilithium?
Yeah, of course. Okay, I think we should go for the asteroid. Let's use a hollow emitter.
Captain, in my years of experience, I think I would probably defer to our science officer in this situation.
Okay, science officer.
Aren't we just making this a little bit too complicated?
It can never be too complicated with Packlids, okay? No, don't underestimate their intelligence and lack of there.
I know, but don't you want, the power to be doing more important things like, shields?
I mean, you've done a great job with the shields already. The shields are set. The con system is ready to go. I mean, you're in a pretty good spot. And now we're gonna use external hollow projectors.
Okay, I'm gonna go for a vote on the bridge. Trailer, do we just go in as is, or do we go for asteroid? What do you think?
Let's go in as is.
As is, science officer.
Yeah, as is.
Okay, democracy stands.
You just hear a pre-recorded Sovek message. Don't forget about logic, Captain.
There's voices in my head again, guys.
All right. So, as you make your final preparations, you finally catch up to the Packlids as they drop out of warp. You also drop out of warp, and you enter a system, and you come up behind the Packlid ship. I can't really do barrel rolls, so we'll just pretend that the ship is doing barrel rolls. But you end up.
Just give me right round.
And so now is the time for the actual maneuver. You successfully prepared it, so instead of a difficulty of 2, it's only going to be a difficulty of 1. So Lance, this will be a con daring.
Can Kertrax assist?
No, he's back at the mine, isn't he?
No, that's Pickle.
Or did he stay? Oh, they sound the same. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's the same person who does the voice, so you know how that is in certain cartoons.
Wow.
Kertrax is sad.
But how can you tell?
Because he sounds like Pico when Pico was sad.
Well, if I do it more like this, then he.
You got to
Well,
flail the
hell
arms so
no.
we know who is who. So
Hands indicated Kertrax.
I'm here.
Kertrax's flailing hands. Pickle is just like a stiff rod,
I'm
Settle
good.
down,
You will
Selleck.
be left behind.
Settle down, Selleck.
Hey, boss, can I assist you with my transporter skills? I got some arms and some hands.
All right.
One here, one here.
So,
one here.
so Lance is executing. I'm sorry, Trailar is executing this maneuver. Con daring, difficulty of 1. You have. Let me throw some momentum up for you, so you know how much you have.
It's all 6, isn't it?
No, it's at. Is it at 6? No.
Yeah, it was at 6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you said we hit the max.
we hit max.
Were you still at it? Oh yeah, you were. You were
Yeah.
at 6. Yeah. Okay. All right. My
Deal on
bad.
momentum.
All right. So threat is at a big old 10. Momentum is at a big old 6. And then temporary momentum is at a 0.
So I am going to spend 1 momentum for an extra die.
Okay. All right. And Sarah, why don't you go ahead and roll for the ship? It'll be a con engines, which is a 13.
Okay.
Let's see, con engines. Okay. All right. Do you still? So now that you know the ship can assist, do you still want to buy that, or do you want to save the momentum?
No, I bought it because I rolled it.
Okay. So Sarah, go ahead and roll. So what did you get, Lance?
I got a 7, and I got 2 2s.
Ooh,
Ooh.
The ship got a 3.
ooh.
So
both of those die are below my con number.
yeah,
And can I?
you get
Did
your,
I already use flight control systems, or can I use it
no,
again?
you can use it every time you roll.
Okay, so I'd like to use it for each of those.
All right, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4. The 7 is also a success, right? So you got all successes
Yep.
on your dice, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's 5, and the and the ship got a success also, right? So that's a total of 6 successes
Yes.
on a difficulty of 1. So you've generated
Still would love to see it.
5. You've generated 5 momentum. You can only bank 1. So tell me how awesome your maneuver was, and what you want to
So-
spend that momentum on.
So during that maneuver, I was able to move the ship over the weapons array of the Packlid ship, and I'm gonna take a pot shot as I'm going by.
Okay. I'm not even gonna make you roll. We'll just say 2 momentum. You can spend 2 momentum to do that.
And
Oops.
you know,
sorry.
and is Kurt Trax able to do some beamy beam stuff yet?
Yeah, I'll let you spend another 2 momentum to do the beam. So you don't even have to roll for it.
Okie dokie, boss.
I mean, this maneuver was so successful.
I'm all locked in.
All right, so you have 1 momentum left. Do you want to do anything?
I mean, warp out because we've achieved what we've done.
Yeah, you just want to warp out?
Yeah, just warp out. Yeah.
Lance, is that what you want to do?
I'd like to raise the shields first, so they don't beam her back off.
Oh, the
'cause
shields-
The shields go back up because
Oh, that was our
Yeah,
that was part of the
pre-programmed that,
preparation. And I mean, this maneuver is so successful. I mean, just whatever you want to have happen can pretty much happen.
I want to shoot at their engines too.
Okay, all right. So we'll so let's make that a roll. So do you want to bank this momentum?
No, I'll use it.
Well, it's going to be a separate roll to do the shot.
Oh, okay, fine.
So
Bank that.
So you're still at full. All right. And so right now you're you're basically right on top of them, right? So upside down too, I might add. And your shields have gone up. Do I have a sound effect for shields?
We fired our weapons a couple times, so we need that.
You haven't fired weapons yet, did you? Oh no, you fired.
I shot at their weapons array.
Right. There you go. All right. So, no, I don't know if shields going up. All right. So, all right. So this is going to be a, this is going to be a control security, with a difficulty of 2. So what do you? Sorry. So you're doing a phaser shot. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And you are. So that's going to be a control security, and the ship can assist with a weapon security. Be a difficulty of 2.
I do want to spend 1 momentum for an extra die.
Yep.
Can Shepard assist with his talent veteran for combat because he's a war veteran?
Raylar also has veteran.
Sorry. What are you asking?
Wait, using a talent, is that an extra die? Tell me.
No, the talents have specific powers. They give you specific abilities.
Okay, veteran is what for ship combat?
Do you have that right there?
Yeah,
James?
I've got veteran. Yeah, so
Do you have the power?
the character,
Yeah.
the character is wise and draws upon the inner reserves of willpower and determination. Is more measured and considered way. Whenever the character spends a point of determination, roll 1. If it's an effective roll, immediately regain that point of determination. The character has a rank of at least lieutenant commander.
So determination is usually used when you use a value. When you say, "Oh, I can apply a value to this situation, I will spend my point of momentum." So everybody has 1 point of determination.
Yeah.
And you would use a value and apply it to the scene in some way. So like this, like one of your core values is going to drive you. Is going to make you determined to do something in this particular scenario, in this particular task. So if any of your values can apply to that,
What about my value? No one gets left behind.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Well, we also Trailer also has wisdom learned through experience, which I think would be useful in combat. He has experience. He's a veteran.
How does that apply to, like, what specifically about this situation brings that up for you, for your character?
Well, he's done multiple weapon simulations. He's been in multiple combats throughout his years, being 300 years old. So this is not something that he's just trying out for the first time. He's learned from his mistakes in the past.
So does this scenario remind you of another mission you experienced?
It does remind him of a time that they were in combat with the Zindi, which was a skirmish after the Zindi War with reptilian forces.
You knew exactly what I was looking for. I will grant you the use of that determination. So basically, you can you can use the determination for various things, but one thing you can do is you can I don't know if I have it here, but oh, here we go. So you can use it to grant a single bonus d20 that automatically rolls a 1, or you can use it to re-roll all of your dice after the first roll. Or you can create an advantage for the scene, but I think the other two are more beneficial.
So in essence, I can get an extra die that's rolled as a 1, so it'd be 2 successes.
Correct. Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna do that,
Okay.
and then I can roll my other 3 because I bought one with momentum.
So you're buying one with momentum.
Yeah.
All right.
Am I still able to assist?
How are you assisting?
By
You're talking real good.
trailer, ease it in, and let's get our person home.
Well, so you've
Already got our person.
yeah. So she's already on board. She's more than likely in sickbay already, being checked. The maneuver has happened successfully. Right now, he is targeting the engines to I'm assuming so they can't pursue. So
Then all I have to say is fire.
I'm gonna say no, you can't assist.
That's nice.
But Sarah, why don't you roll for the ship weapons security?
Okay.
Which is a 10, which is a 13. Everything's a 13 on this ship. All right, so this is a difficulty of 2. You've already rolled 1 die with 2 successes. You have purchased another die. All right, so this brings you to the max of 5, I think. So
I just needed to roll 3 more then, correct? Me personally.
you roll 3 more, and Sarah rolls 1.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
So I have an 18, which is no good, an 8, which is a success, and a 1.
Oh,
Jeez. Trailar is the MVP of this mission right now. And Sarah,
The
what is the
ship
ship?
rolled a
is-
12.
A 12.
The
so
bird
that's
is the
another
word.
success. Good
That's-
lord.
that is the word.
The bird is
That
the
is the
word.
word.
Oh my god. All right. So lucky for you, you never checked, but the Packlet shields were in fact down.
But you said it was so successful that anything we wanted could happen.
No, what I'm saying is that you never checked if the Packlet shields were up, but they were down, and that's one reason why you were able to beam her over. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So now, Lance, do you have any D6s?
I've got a virtual roller in front of me,
Okay.
so I can use that.
So you need to roll. You need to roll 9 D6s. And tell me the values that you get.
Okay. 5, 4, 1, 6, 5, 2, 3, 2.
I missed one. I missed the middle one between 6 and 5.
It was a 3.
3? Okay. So 541-635-232.
Exactly.
That's correct. Okay. Now I need to find my conversion chart for the.
Who else thinks he's doing
effects
something
dice.
devious right now?
No. Basically,
These are
so-
damage dice, I think.
Yeah.
Damage
So
dice.
so these are the dice.
okay.
These are the dice that you're supposed to roll, but because you don't have any, we have to roll d6s, and then I have to find the thing that tells me what sides of the die you actually rolled.
I believe.
Do you have it, Nova? I have to look for it.
From what I recall, your 1 is going to be your effect. No, 1 is going to be damage. 2 is going to be the 2 damage. 3 and 4 are your blanks. And 5 and 6 are your effects.
Oh wait, I have it. I found it. Okay. All right. So yeah, 3s and 4s are zeros. So those are all zeros. 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 3 effects. So 8 plus 3 effects.
Hyperhydra says that's not damage roll, that's a phone number.
Who's he calling?
And
I
the
don't know.
effects are. What's the effect? Versatile. Let's see here. Oh, area. Why do I not have versatile on here? That's so obnoxious. First, I copied the damage effects over, and apparently I did not copy all of the damage effects. So, which is really, really obnoxious. Let me just see if I can find it real quick. I don't know what versatile does.
Do you want us to look it up?
If somebody can, I don't. It's not readily available in the book. So let's do a quick search.
PDF. We could search the PDF.
Isn't it something like it turns effects into damage?
Well, effects do also give you 1 point of damage.
Yeah, so I counted that. So you did 8 damage and you got 3 effects. Versatile. And the phasers have versatile 2. Versatile. Star Trek Adventures. Here we go. I think I found it.
Ah,
Oh.
X points of bonus momentum if successful. So if it's versatile 2, that's 2 points of momentum if it's successful.
Gotcha. So, and it can't be banked. It has to be used.
Because it's bonus
Yeah.
momentum. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So you got so 6. So you got 6 so you got 6 bonus momentum. All right. So hang on. This is holy cow. So you got so it was a difficulty of 2. All right? You got 6 successes, which means you got 4 momentum just from the roll. And then you got 6 more momentum from the damage, and you did 8 damage.
Shouldn't the versatile just be you get 2 momentum because it was a successful roll? I don't think it's based on like the number of effects rolled. I think it's just if it's a successful roll, you get 2 extra momentum. That's my understanding of versatile.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. It's just you get the X if it's successful.
Yeah.
And if a success is, and if a, I think it's rolled. So that's, so that's 6. So that's six bonus momentum. You can only bank 1, and you can't bank 2 of them. And you've done 8 damage.
Obliterate them.
So let me check.
Do it.
Finish him.
Let me check.
We don't do that in Starfleet.
Let me check. Let's see.
Set phases
You
to
sure?
diplomatic.
We beam their captain aboard and take him prisoner. That's what we do.
And kill the rest of them.
No, we're not terrorists.
We could beam back our
Head
hat.
phaser to evidence disposal.
Yeah, we take our hat with us. We earn that.
Okay. So, so what would you like to do with the bonus momentum? You're doing 8 base damage. You can certainly spend momentum to increase the damage. However, how much?
How much momentum will we need to disable their ship?
Like, was 8 do we know the result of the 8 damage? What it did to their engines?
You
It made them sad.
do not know.
I just know they're going to need a lot of things that make them go after this.
Yeah. And they're losing a valuable resource. Is there any way that we can... Sarah would make
It is broken.
Is there any way that we can just like do a little bit extra damage and then warp away? Because I'm very much concerned they're going to fire back at us before we can warp out.
No, I already took a shot at their weapons array. Did I knock out their weapons array when I fired with the momentum earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so not going to fire back. Okay.
You
I
caught
still
them.
think we should...
You caught them by surprise, and you just. It was an epic maneuver. It was really epic.
Okay.
You're,
Can we beam them
you're
something
beating a
that
dead
will?
horse, if you will.
Can we beam them something that will make them feel like they've won something and won't come back?
I mean,
Oh,
they
good
still presumably they still have the super shiny fake dilithium crown,
Helmet.
and you can't really beam something in the middle of firing a phaser. So you have to decide what you're doing with the momentum in terms of the phaser attack.
Okay.
So you can certainly spend momentum to increase the damage.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna spend momentum to increase damage.
Could
I
you
want to make sure
target
we
the
knock
helmet?
the engines out.
Okay, so you have a total of 6 momentum. How much of it do you want to spend on damage? And you're already doing 8 damage.
We don't know what their hit points are to begin with, do we?
You did not scan the ship. You do not have that information.
We don't want to blow
We
them
did
up.
last week. Or we did
Yeah,
last
we did.
time.
Yeah, we
Did
did.
you?
We scanned them before. Yeah, we scanned them before.
Yeah, I specifically scanned them
Oh,
for weaknesses. That's how we found where the shield generator was.
All right. Okay. All right. Given the scan that that intelligence specialist Sahir did, you let's see. Let me do the math real quick. So
Can we superimpose like all those fractions and equations over your face right now somehow?
maybe.
But yeah,
the
we should
budget for that.
totally target the helmet with the phasers. You know, just disintegrate it in front of them. They don't deserve it.
Excuse me, that is like my masterpiece forgery. I mean, replication. You're just going to vaporize to
Ash.
rub a little extra salt in the wound.
It was a little over polished. Let's be real.
I say we let them keep it because right now they think they've got something cool.
I think just let them keep it.
I say
They
let them
don't-
keep it because they're going to try and put it into their warp engine and going to be really surprised very shortly.
Boom.
But we need to correct the mistake of last episode of spending too much momentum frivolously. So let's spend all of our momentum disintegrating that helmet.
I feel like if we spend too much more momentum, we're gonna blow up their ship, and then we would have killed them. So.
Am I the only one
Okay.
thinking that we should,
you haven't hurt Sayar enough
So-
by,
Just get out.
beating him into a wall.
So you need to do. You need to do.
Panda, didn't you put a bomb in the helmet last week?
No, we
No.
didn't
Oh,
spend the extra momentum.
That was too much to do
Too much.
with the
Alright.
extreme luster. It was like, okay, either this thing is going to be kind of shiny and also weaponized, or this thing is going to cause lens flares in perfect darkness.
Okay.
Well, maybe we use the ship's phaser on a lower setting just to sort of, shave off a
Twinkle.
few layers of the shiny. Like,
No.
dull the helmet a little.
I don't want them to come after us. We just want them to leave us alone. And like we gave them the thing, and they said they'd never return because they knew that the big helmet Packlid would come after them if they did. So
If they come after us and come back, then we'll take the helmet away then.
yeah.
Well, if you carefully cut the ship into two pieces, then only a small bit can follow you.
Okay, so you need to do at least 4 more damage to damage the engines.
So I have 6 momentum. Can I use 4 of that momentum towards that?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
That will damage the engines.
Yeah, you
not
would
take
have to
them
do-
offline.
You'd have to do a total of 16 damage because the ship has a resistance of 4. So 4 of that damage is being eaten up. So that leaves 4 base damage. And that will cause 1 breach to that system. And that will impact the engines. You need to do another 4 to damage the engines, and then you would need to do another 4 to disable the engines. So you could.
Could I use it? I'll take the 4 to do that, but also can I use 2 to mask our warp trail as we warp out? I know they might probably assume we're going back to where we were, but just in case.
You can certainly do that. Yes. The other option is you could continue combat and try to damage the engines again to
Captain,
disable
what do you
them.
think?
But that would basically enter into combat rules, which means that they would get around and they would probably, do some
But
stuff
their
as
weapons
well.
are down.
Yeah, the weapons are down.
They are down, but they also can take turns to repair them. They can take turns to raise shields. They can take turns to.
I'd say just run and gun. Let's just get out of here.
All right. So 4 of that extra momentum to damage, and then 2 to mask our trail as we leave.
Okay. All right. All right. So you aim the phasers at the engines. You fire. There's a minor explosion. That was actually, sorry. That was
Wow.
too big of an explosion.
blew
It
them
should have been a
up.
smaller explosion, like
That's
Like-
from
I guess
Starfleet
there's-
Command, isn't it?
a.
I guess there was some dilithium in the helmet after all.
There we go. That's the explosion that happened. So you've certainly impacted their engines, which are a certain set of rules, and then you quickly mask the energy signature of the ship as you warp out of the system. and head back to. I'm assuming you're heading back to the mining facility.
The A-team, if you will.
The A-team.
In
all right.
The A-team with arguably the B-line story.
Yep. So that is what's happened, and with that, we will end tonight's episode.
I call that a successful rescue mission, guys.
That was, I mean, look,
Nice.
MVP Trailer win over here.
Trailer,
like
yeah.
two tasks. He rolled 6 successes. I mean, with the assistance of other people, of course. I mean, not to say it was only him, but
I mean, two ones was pretty broken. He bought a 1 with determination and then rolled a 1. I mean, that's
yeah,
pretty
and then his two rolls of with his focus were pretty epic. So, all right, so
He was using attack pattern Sovek though, so I feel like I should get all of the credit.
I don't know. I'm pretty
Since-
sure Captain Shepard came up with that. That's
Yeah,
going to
wasn't-
be called the
wasn't that-
Shepard maneuver.
wasn't that attack pack and Shepherd?
That barrel roll up. That's the second time now they've done that, and that's the Shepard maneuver right there. So
The Shepherd swoop, if you will.
The Shepherd swoop. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Join us again next week when the crew of the Sovereign heads back to the mining facility to hopefully finish up this mission and then continue their exploration into the Shackleton Expanse. So obviously, thank you guys for watching. Thanks to all of our Patreon supporters for helping to make this show possible and all the other shows. Don't forget, tomorrow night is the Priority One Armada live stream, where we will be teaming up with you, the viewers, to play some Stowe, get some XP, some marks, and most importantly, Dilithium. And I believe, let's see, who's on the show tomorrow night? Is it the Winters? It is the Winters. It is Philly Dilly, and Lance. And you guys are going to be on New Romulus for the round table, and I believe you're going to Dyson Ground for the away mission. So you guys have fun with that. Also, don't forget every Tuesday, James is Accolade Hunter.
Every Tuesday's Accolade Hunter.
Every Tuesday's Accolade Hunter. Check out our YouTube channel on Wednesdays for checking out the news with James and Sarah, and occasionally when I have my act together, I'm also on there.
Usually you.
And then Thursday night is always TFO Thursdays. That's a fleet, an Armada event where we get together and run TFOs, but we stream it live on Twitch and the YouTubes and all that stuff, so join us for that as well. So again, thanks everybody for watching the show, really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you guys again next week, if not during one of our other shows. So say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Don't forget to
Good
follow us
night.
on Twitter. We just hit 400 followers. Woohoo!
Woo! Thanks
Nice.
everybody. All right, have a good night.